Major battles of the Civil War directions for the last years of the war, 1864 through 1865. President Lincoln made General Grant the commander of all Union armies. The West was now under Northern control. Southern armies were being worn down by battle fatigue and mounting casualties. Resources were dwindling because of the ever-tightening blockade. Yet, despite the Norse manpower advantage, naval supremacy, and stockpile of war materials, the South continued to offer stiff resistance. When Grant closed in on Richmond, General Lee and the outnumbered Confederates fought him to a draw in several battles before winning the Battle of Cold Harbor. Grant's losses in a month of fighting reached a staggering 55,000 men, but he continued to apply pressure on Lee's valiant troops. Meanwhile, Union General William T. Sherman's army of 90,000 captured and burned Atlanta. Then they swept across Georgia to Savannah. This famous march to the sea cut a 60-mile wide path of destruction through the heart of the South. Sherman's men destroyed crops, cattle, factories, railways, and everything else of potential military value. The Eastern Confederacy was now cut in half. The Union Army left Savannah and moved through South Carolina and into North Carolina. In Virginia, General Lee and his Confederate troops had to evacuate Petersburg after a long siege and finally Richmond, the Confederate capital. As he retreated westward, Lee realized that it was useless to continue the fight. He met with General Grant in a farmhouse in the small settlement of Appomattox Courthouse and surrendered his army. Confederate forces in other Southern states also surrendered. The Civil War was over. The Union was saved. As before, when you do the steps on the map, please read, listen to, and then pause to complete each step. In box number 3, print March 1864, Lincoln appoints Ulysses S. Grant commander of all Union forces. Color the battle symbol at Cold Harbor in Virginia to show a Confederate victory. Print September 1864 next to it. Color the battle symbol at Atlanta in Georgia to represent a Union victory. Print September 1864 next to it. Trace the dashed arrow 6 to show a Union advance from Atlanta to Savannah in Georgia, then north to the Carolinas. Print Sherman, November 1864 through April 1865, alongside dashed arrow 6. Color the battle symbol at Savannah to show a Union victory. Color the battle symbols at Petersburg and Richmond in Virginia for the Union. Print April 1865 next to these symbols. Color the battle symbol at Appomattox Courthouse in Virginia for the Union. Print April 1865. Lee surrenders to Grant next to the symbol. In box number 4, print April 1865. The Civil War ends with the North defeating the South.